Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube land, it's your boy Tuglo, and today we are going to be talking about the new units that we have to summon for. The first one is going to be the Crunchyroll Hime crossover gacha. I believe this is Crunchyroll's like actual mascot, so I think that's extremely cool that she's in the game and they're doing like a little crossover. That is lit. I do like that. So we also have another banner, which is going to be the... Let me move this. Yeah! It is going to be the Passionate Debutante Gacha. We are going to be featuring Tiana Breakdown and... Oh, went over one too far. Tiana as our main characters that we will be paying attention to. So let's go ahead and jump into their stats. Let's go over to their stats. So the first character that we will talk about is going to be Tiana. As you can see, these are her stats at level 80. Now let's go ahead and take a look at her abilities. Her special is going to be an AoE ability that is an Ultra Thunder physical attack and damage plus 15% per self regen or strength buff skill. Now I know that's a lot to take in, so basically what that's saying is if you have any of these buffs down here, if you have her first skill buff or her second skill buff, or preferably both, her ability, her special ability will now do her Ultra Thunder attack and an extra 30% total damage overall to all foes. That is insane. Now, her second ability, or her first ability actually, is going to be an AoE low thunder physical attack, and you will have a self strength plus 75% for 4 turns. Her second ability is going to be AoE mid thunder physical attack with a self 25% HP regen for 4 turns. And then her third ability is going to be an AoE high thunder physical attack and damage plus 25% per 1 self regen or strength buff. So I believe that these would stack since it says per 1 self regen strength buff. So if you do your first ability, then your second ability, I would assume you're doing an extra 50% extra damage, kind of like the way that you're doing an extra 30% on the top one. If I'm incorrect, you're only just going to get 15% and 25%, even if you have both of them stacked onto yourself, buffing yourself. So if that is the case, that's great. If you do get to stack them, then hey, that's even more damage, and that's fantastic. So one thing that I do want to mention is that she does gain a guard plus 30%. And let me go ahead and turn this back on. Let me actually just go put myself like over here. So now she does get a 30% guard, which for me is fantastic. I actually run the guard playstyle. So what I like to do is I like to run photo for the guard chance off of her heal. I like to run the I believe it was the Hestia assist that gives you an extra like 8% guard on top of guard armor. So that just boosts up the guard by a lot. And then if I were to put all of those things with this character, the Tiana, I would now have all of that guard, which I think normally is around 52%, on top of an extra 30% guard. That is just insane. 82% guard, ridiculous. Now, another thing that I do want to mention is that this character, already, goodbye to your water meta. Boom. Water resistant plus 35%. So now all these water characters that we were like, oh, Yosha, the water meta. Yeah, that's goodbye. It's the thunder meta now. So, I believe those two things are the two things that I wanted to cover. Now, before we go on to the next characters, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about Tiana right here and right now. Just kind of spice it up, switch things up a little bit. So, for beginners, this character is 1000% fantastic. Not only does she really work around herself, she gives herself a little buff. The heal, which I'm curious about, is I wonder if that's 25% of her max health or if that's 25% of her current health. If it's max health, that is extremely good. If it's current health, it's not the greatest of things, but we'll still take it. Now, this character is 100%, if you are a brand new player, you want to try to +5 this character as quickly as possible. Secondly, if you are a veteran player, this character is still going to be extremely good. It is going to bring in a new type of meta with the Thunder meta. Also, this character is now starting to power creep other characters. I will have a power creep video out soon that I am so excited to talk about because it was fantastic the way that Crunchyroll did it, but we're going to save that for that. This character with the plus 15% per self buff and the 25% damage per self buff is power creeping the older characters, and it's just insane how well she works with herself. And I'm really curious to see what Crunchyroll is going to do next after these plus % buffs, and then, you know, what's the next thing. So all around fantastic character. She is 100% definitely going to be for a war game specific team. Since she doesn't really have too many single target abilities, I would assume that her skills are going to cost just a little bit more than you know, a single target attack, since these are all AoE. However, she still will be completely strong in your record buster, just for the sheer fact that she works so well with herself. Now let's go ahead and move on to Tiana. Tiana is going to be right here. These are her stats at +5. She's going to be a balanced type character. That's why she does have the double S in strength and double S in magic. Her special ability is going to be an AoE Ultra Thunder physical attack and Thunder resist -50% for 1 turn. Her first ability is going to be a fast taunt resist +100% and endurance up +30% for 4 turns. That's fantastic. We'll get to that later. Her second ability is going to be an AoE mid-thunder physical attack with a heal and guard rate -35% for 3 turns. Ooh, y'all remember that guard way that I like to play the game? Yeah, rip. Now, for her last and third ability, it will be an AoE high thunder physical attack with temporary strength boost. Also with Tiana, she will have that 30% guard, and she will have the water resistance for 35%. That is going to be her 2 main passives that I want to take a look at. Going over Tiana very quickly, her special, extremely complements Tione very well. If you were to be able to buff Tione and then use this special and then Tione's special, brother, sister, I'm telling you, you are going to be doing so much deeps, it's insane. So this combos very well with Tione, and it also combos very well with the, I believe, Grande Eve Filvis. Grande Eve Filvis is going to be a thunder type magic character who will do a lot of damage. Her first ability, at first glance, you're kind of like fast taunt resist +100%. That's not the greatest, but let me remind you, if we do get New Year's Gareth, or, you know, who knows, a new character could come along and have a taunt before him, that's really good. But assuming New Year's Gareth will be something that we on NA do get, this is already like preventing the New Year's Gareth from being a complete monster, so this is extremely good. Now, on top of that taunt resist, we also get that 30% endurance, which in turn means it doesn't matter if I'm going against physical attackers. It don't matter if I'm going against magic attackers. Guess what? The endurance works for both of them, and it's an overall fantastic buff. Her second ability, like I said earlier, it literally kills the way that I like to play, because I like to play that guard, you know, RNG type of way. But this ability right here, no sir, you don't get to do that. Well, I don't get to do that. And on top of that, my heals, minus 35% more effective. Oof, feels bad, man. Fantastic ability right here. Her last ability, High Thunder Physical Attack, Temporary Strength Boost. Yeah, we're used to that AoE ability. It is what it is. It doesn't have a 75% strength boost rather than just a temporary boost, but, you know, she's balanced. It is what it is. That's a little bit on the mess side. This character for beginners, extremely good, especially if you're able to combo it with Tiona, her sister that we just saw previously. Now, for returning players, veteran players, whatever the case may be, she isn't as attractive as Tiona, because Tiona is going to be doing my damages, but this is just a kind of complementary. If I'm able to get, you know, a very high, you know, +3, +4 Tiona, and then let's say I complement that with a +1, +2 Tiona, I'm gonna say that's worth. It's not too shabby for what you know, you pulled. But however, in my opinion, unless you're really gonna look towards the future and say, hey, I want to stop that New Year's Gareth right now, I want to stop, you know, these heals, you know, these guard rates. If you want to go for those type of things, okay, by all means, go for it. I believe this is going to have more effectiveness in Record Buster, just because you do have that plus 30% endurance. Yes, that's also fantastic for war games, but I just have a feeling that something to do with this character is going to be a little bit more effective in Record Buster. Hell, who knows? It could be the same for both of them. However, she's still a good character, but she's not somebody that I would invest so highly in. At the very least, I definitely am going to go for her at +0, because collection, baby. Now, let's go ahead and talk about Hephaestus. Hephaestus is going to be a physical resist minus 10% and a guard rate minus 8%. Very, very good. Literally counters the exact playstyle that I like to play. Physical resist doesn't really, you know, it is what it is, but the guard rate is definitely there. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Crunchyroll Hime. So here are her stats. She will be a magic-based character. At +5, she will have magic plus 15%, and the foe's 45% chance to stun. I believe what that's basically saying is when she comes onto the field, she has a 45% chance to stun everybody. Now, that's all it's going to do. It's not going to be every single turn. It's just literally that. Plus 15 magic percent. Plus 15% magic is good, but, you know, it is what it is, man. At +0, we do have +10 and 30% stun. Aside from just having literal, you know, collection, just because it's time limited, we got one for free. I personally am not going to be going for it anymore. If you are a newer player, by all means, having a plus 10% magic could help you in the long run whenever more magic characters come. However, if you are an older player, man, I wouldn't waste my iris here. That's just me personally. Beautiful character, though. By all means, very beautiful. Then we do have, last but not least, we are going to have this Kunoichi Goddess Hestia, time limited as well. Her ability is going to be 8% strength and 10% HP regen at +0. Then at +5, she will be strength based. At +5, it will be 10% strength and 15% HP regen. Literally, just because she has 10% or 8% strength at +0, she now is already more attractive than this +5 Naza. Also, she's just a smidge bit more attractive than the +0 Amid, just for the sheer fact that, yes, I do lose HP regen, but I don't really care about that, because guess what? I make up for it with 8% strength, which is going to in turn make me stronger. So that is low-key power creeping the Amid and Naza assist that I just showed you. Now, would I go for this Hestia if I'm a new player? By all means, you bet your ass I am. Now, what I'd go for if I'm a newer player or an older player, it's something that you would really have to determine for yourself. Is that 8% strength worth it? Are you okay with getting left a little bit behind in the dust? If you don't have the Hestia, then by all means, that's up to you. It will show a little bit of a difference, you know, +5 in war games, but the biggest difference that you'll see is potentially going to be in Record Buster, especially if you run physical teams. Running those physical teams are definitely, you will definitely love to have this boost, but if you don't have it, man, it is what it is. Now, finally, before we go, I do want to just take a look at the banners one more time and just kind of say, you know, who I think I would go for out of each banner. So for this one, the Crunchyroll Hime, I definitely would be going for Hestia. She would be my preferred choice. Now, I might do summons just for collection. Time limited, man, I ain't too fond of. So by all means, I go one and done for collection, if at all possible. Paid banners, I'm not too worried about. The passionate debutante banners, I'm definitely wanting to get Tione and as high of a plus as possible. If I can't get her, you know, +4, +5, it is what it is. At least from what I'm seeing, she is going to be available throughout the rest of the you know, banners once she goes away. The one thing I do not like, and I will always point this out, is a 4-star adventurer drawn from a non-guaranteed draw may yield a pre-existing unit. That means I could get Masked Braver Finn when I could have had Tione. That is not what I like. Now, don't get me wrong, I love this character. Tione is definitely a waifu, but it's not worth the iris if I'm gonna have to get a 4-star open up to me and I get like Masked Braver Finn. That would just destroy me. So definitely Tione is top priority for me personally, and then Tione is going to be back there, you know, just, hey, if I got extra iris and I have +5, why not try to complement her with the Tiona? Hephaestus, she's good in her own regards. Guys, that is all I have for this video analysis of these characters. Like I said, I will have a power creep video coming out soon. I can't wait to make that. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and I want to hear your feedback as well. Thank y'all so much for watching. I hope this helped you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and that's all I got. So as y'all know, that's the fat lady singing. That's the bells are ringing. And until the next video, I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you in the next one. God bless and peace out.